Have you ever heard of the Essene Gospel of Peace? Well, I remember reading that book, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago or 30, in years like that. And it was written by Zeke, and he had been purportedly in the Vatican Library and had copied down these kind of secret manuscripts and taken them with him. And he had worked in that system, and he realized this was really magnificent knowledge about teachers, the Essene Gospel of Peace. And it was about what we call it now, a sect of Judaism, but actually it was the original Hebrews. And this author I like, this Shmuel Asher, who wrote The Land of Meat and Honey, which I highly recommend. And he's very qualified to do what he's done. He's referring now to Jesus, or actually Yeshua, another name, as a rabbi or a teacher of an original Hebrew, where these people were vegetarians. And these people also, they lived a very healthy life, and they would even, their children were so loved and protected and cared for and healthy, so that when it came time for them to marry and to, come together, to a male and female, to have their children, they would have the strongest bodies, the most wonderful consciousness. They'd be very open to the divine because they were living in harmony with, you might say, the one God law of no killing and the laws of nature, living in harmony with how the body functions, and that many of the healings came through, it was cleaning out the intestines, changing the diet, eliminating all of the causes of disease, because also a lot of people in that part of the world at that time had very, unhealthy practices. And it was also saying that Yeshua spent many years with the Essene, I guess young people, maybe just the males, I don't know, females, males, would go out to do their education by studying the mystery of the mystery schools. And so that there was also, you remember, Alexandria had big, great schools of knowledge, and there were different wisdom teachings. So they would learn all about this. And supposedly Yeshua studied in India. And see, in India, the great ancient Vedic culture, and they were called the Aryans. And what the Aryan was not what you hear about and all that kind of stuff. It was the name that the Vedic culture gave to someone who was a beautiful human being. That meant they were maybe great at music or art, or just a loving, caring person, healing. And so it was as a quality of a culture of people who were living in harmony with the divine, practicing the eternal agreement of non-killing, and always endeavoring for the welfare of all. And they also had, very importantly, when they had the cow and animals, goats and sheep, all that we were receiving the product from, the milk from, and then you get the fur from the sheep and the goat and all this kind of thing, but not killing and eating the flesh. And what the original sacrifices were really flowers on your altar. It was not anything had to do with blood sacrifices or that sort of thing. It was actually an offering of just of remembering the God presence and never forgetting. And all of people say they're desiring of heaven, they're desiring of a better world, we're desiring of these, but we're actually participating and involved in everything, what we eat, what we drink, what's in the air, what's in the food and the medicine, and all of this that is completely antagonistic to and opposite from supreme vitality. Yeah, and all of that. So I really highly recommend the Essene Gospel of Peace, because it actually doesn't have a bunch of rules. It just makes a lot of sense. And this is for people that really want the best, you see. And if you want the best, you have to know what the best is and how that works, and you have to take it for yourself. And that means to apply it, to practice it, regardless of whether anybody else does or not. Regardless of that, you think it's going to make a difference in the world. No, it's make a difference in you. It's not about the world, it's about you. And when you're in harmony with yourself, when we're each in harmony with ourselves, we're joyful, we're happy, we're loved, and we're an asset. We're working for the welfare of all because we're not intentionally causing distress to any living entity. We don't wish for it, want it, or anything like that. And at the same time, we have discernment, because you can witness and you can know. And it's called discrimination. And we thought, now we've made that a bad word. It means you're discriminating racial. Well, look, who are these people planting these ideas? You have to have discernment. And that means not that you're judging and hating someone, but you know what people are doing, and then you look to see, do you want to do that or not? So, I was ordained as an Essene bishop many years ago by my friend David Carmos. It was the Essene Church of Canada. And not that I was out, but it was part of my path of finding the best for myself and then offering what that is or how that is my experience to others. And really inviting everyone to do their own research and not to just follow other people or believe what they say or tell me what to do. No. We could be inspired, but we need to do our own research, because no one's going to care more about you than you do. And yet some people do care more about you than you care about yourself. And, well, we have to, So if you want peace, that's in your mind. And give peas a chance. Remember, we all like peas. But the peace, people are always wanting I want peace. There's more war than ever because you want peace. No, rise above peace and war. To go to that state of who you really are. And that's really what the mind is silent. You're in yourself. Look, be where you are. Breathe in the air. Look at this. I'm standing on the lake. I'm walking on water. I'm not going too far out there, though. Yeah.